On a cold morning in Northern California, a hiker stepped into a narrow crack of volcanic rock near Mount Shasta. He took 5 steps inside, then 10, and after that, he was gone. Search teams found no footprints, no broken stones, no signs of a fall. Just a warm draft of air pushing outward from the darkness, as if something below had opened and closed again. Locals weren't surprised. For years, people have whispered about hidden caves under Mount Shasta, tunnels that aren't on any map, passages where compasses spin, and chambers that seem to breathe in and out like something alive. Some say the caves are just old lava tubes. Others believe they're doorways, the kind that appear, pull someone in, and vanish before anyone can find them again. And the deeper you look into Mount Shasta's history, the stranger those whispers become. Because this mountain, this quiet, snow-covered giant, has a way of swallowing stories whole. And sometimes people too. Mount Shasta looks calm from a distance, a perfect white pyramid rising out of the forest. But inside, the mountain is alive. For more than 250,000 years, eruptions have carved tunnels, hollow chambers, and long volcanic arteries running deep beneath the surface. Geologists call them lava tubes, nature's underground highways, formed when rivers of molten rock cooled on the outside, while fire kept flowing inside. When the lava drained away, it left behind empty corridors, dark, smooth, and impossibly long. One of the oldest is Pluto's Cave, a 190,000-year-old lava tube just north of Shasta. Its ceiling arches like a cathedral. Its floor is black basalt, and cracks in the roof send narrow beams of sunlight straight down into the darkness, as if the cave itself has windows into another world. But Pluto's Cave is only one piece of the puzzle. Scans of the region show dozens, maybe hundreds, of ancient tubes beneath the mountain. Some accessible, some collapsed, and some still uncharted. Stranger still, these underground spaces breathe. Cold air sinks. Warm air rises. Pressure shifts make the tunnels sigh like something moving inside them. Scientists say it's just natural ventilation. But locals, they aren't convinced. Because if these are only leftover scars from ancient eruptions, why do some passages echo in ways that don't match their shape? Why do seismic instruments pick up hollow pockets that appear, then vanish, as if parts of the mountain are opening and closing? Mount Shasta is more than a volcano. It's a labyrinth, a living system of tunnels and chambers, some known and some better left untouched. Long before explorers arrived, long before roads, maps, or satellite images, Mount Shasta was already known. To the Shasta, the Wintu, the Modoc, and the Karuk tribes, this mountain wasn't just land. It was a living being, a bridge between the sky above and the world beneath. Wintu elders tell stories of rituals performed at sunrise, prayers whispered into the cold morning air, sent upward to spirits said to dwell inside the mountain. Some spoke of hidden doorways, not caves, not cracks, but openings that appeared only to those spiritually prepared, glowing briefly, then fading back into stone. The Klamath tell a story even older. A battle between Skell, the spirit of the sky, and Lau, the spirit of the underworld. They hurled fire across the land, splitting mountains and shaking the earth. To anthropologists, it sounds like a memory of ancient volcanic eruptions. But to the tribes, it is a reminder that this place has always been a boundary where the world above meets the world below. And for generations, tribal members warned outsiders never to wander too deep into certain areas. Some paths are not meant for everyone, one elder said. When settlers finally arrived in the 1800s, they heard these stories, but they misunderstood them, twisted them, and transformed Mount Shasta into something even stranger. A mountain not only sacred, but supernatural. The legends that followed would echo across the world. By the late 1800s, Mount Shasta's sacred reputation had already spread far beyond California. But then, the stories changed. Travelers began reporting something strange. Figures dressed in long, white robes, moving silently along the tree line at dusk. One prospector swore he met a man nearly 7 feet tall, pale, calm, and carrying a crystal-tipped staff. The stranger spoke perfect English, then walked toward a cliffside and disappeared into solid rock. Writers seized on these encounters and connected them in an older occult idea, Lemuria, a mythical lost continent said to have sunk beneath the Pacific. According to the new legend, the surviving Lemurians fled underground and built a hidden city beneath Mount Shasta, a city called Telos. They described glowing halls carved from crystal, soft blue light with no visible source, gardens growing without sunlight, and chambers stretching for miles into the depths. No evidence of Telos has ever been found. No ruins, no artifacts, nothing. And yet, the sightings continued. Hikers reported footsteps echoing beside them, even when they walked alone. Campers woke to soft humming rising from the earth, a low vibration with no wind and no machines. Some visitors claimed they saw tall figures watching from behind the rocks, and when they approached, the figures simply melted into the shadows. Skeptics blame imagination, or misidentified hikers, or tricks of the fading light. But there's one detail that keeps the legend alive. So many of these encounters happen in the exact same places, where the mountain's unmapped tunnels are believed to run. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe the old stories are right, and something ancient still walks the hidden corridors beneath Mount Shasta. By the mid-20th century, Mount Shasta's legends had taken on a new shape. Not ancient, not mythical, but modern and unsettlingly physical. People began calling the mountain an energy vortex, a place where magnetic fields twist, where compasses drift, and where some claim the air itself feels charged. Pilots reported glowing orbs circling the summit. Hikers filmed discs slipping into lenticular clouds, the strange lens-shaped formations that hover over Shasta like stacked silver plates. Meteorologists call them normal. Believers call them camouflage. Campers describe flashes of white light bursting from cracks along the rock. No thunder, no storms, just sudden illumination, as if something deep inside the mountain was powering up for a moment, then falling silent again. And the caves, especially Pluto's cave, became a magnet for strange encounters. Visitors hear whispers traveling from one end of the tunnel to the other, too soft to be wind, too steady to be echoes. Others feel a cold presence slip past them, like someone brushing by in the dark, even when no one else is there. Electromagnetic equipment behaves erratically. Radios crackle with static. Phones lose signal only inside specific chambers, then reboot the moment you step outside. Skeptics point to air pressure, acoustics, and the natural behavior of volcanic rock. But those who've spent time on the mountain say the same thing. Something here is awake, and whatever it is, it doesn't want to stay hidden forever. Not every mystery around Mount Shasta comes from legends or lights. Some of them are painfully real. Rangers keep quiet records of hikers who vanished near the mountain. Disappearances with no clear trail, no evidence of an accident, and no logical way to explain how a person could walk into the forest and simply not walk out. Much of Shasta's terrain is fractured. Lava tubes collapse without warning. Narrow cracks drop into vertical shafts. Even trained rescue teams can search an area for hours and still miss openings small enough to swallow a person whole. Science explains most of this. Volcanic ground is unstable. Sound bounces strangely. Warm air rising from hidden chambers can distort direction and distance. But then there are the cases that refuse to fit the map. Footprints that end abruptly at a smooth rock wall. Voices heard deep inside fissures where no one could physically survive. Objects found miles away from where they were lost, with no tracks leading in or out. When researchers scan the mountain with seismic tools, the results are even stranger. Some readings show hollow pockets, round, distinct, almost symmetrical, like rooms carved out beneath the surface. But when the team rescans the same location, hours or days later, the pockets vanish, replaced by solid rock. As if the mountain is shifting internally, closing spaces that once were open. Geologists call it data noise, instrument error, compression artifacts, but the patterns persist. And they match the stories told for hundreds of years that beneath Mount Shasta, lie chambers that move, tunnels that breathe, and dark spaces that some people enter but never return from. Maybe it's geology, maybe it's misinterpretation, or maybe in the deepest parts of the mountain, something is changing right under our feet. After a small earthquake shook the region, researchers scanned the mountain again. This time, something new appeared. A perfect void, round, symmetrical, too smooth to be natural, and sitting deep inside the mountain, where no known lava tube should exist. Teams prepared to study it, to drill, to measure, to finally see what was hiding inside Shasta's core. But before they could begin, the next scan showed nothing. The chamber was gone, replaced by solid rock, as if the mountain had swallowed the reading whole. Experts called it noise, a glitch, an error in the seismic data. But for the people who live beneath Shasta's shadow, the explanation felt too simple. Because every legend, from the tribes, to the settlers, to the hikers, to the modern-day wanderers, points to the same idea. There is more beneath this mountain than we're allowed to see. Maybe the caves are only lava tubes. Maybe the lights are weather. Maybe the voices are echoes bending through the fractured ground. But maybe, in the deepest parts of Mount Shasta, in the tunnels no map has touched, something ancient is still moving. And if Shasta can hide a chamber that appears and disappears, then what else can be hidden? What else can be erased? Our next journey takes us to Nevada, into a desert where structures appear and vanish, where satellite images are blurred or replaced, and where a silent dome sits alone, a facility with no name, no record, and officially no existence. Earth's hidden mysteries, Nevada's silent dome, the facility erased from satellite maps, USA. Coming next.